Here I am. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday with Live with Lloyd, where the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. Today is Wednesday. It is the 18th of August. We're still in the sign of Leo, but by the time we get to who? By the time we get to, shall we say, Monday, the next show, which will be the 23rd. The moon will then be in the sign of Virgo. Right now, up until about the 19th, 20th, sometimes on the 21st. It all depends. So this is why people that's born on the cusp of the 20th to 21st and the 22nd, that means you got a foot in one sign you're about to leave and a foot in the other sign that you're about to step into. All righty. So we encourage everybody to join us this evening. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about numbers in their rulership part 4, because one of the questions asked of me, are there cities or countries around the world that govern the numbers? And yes, that is very true. But in the meantime, though, for the cosmic forecast, for the Live with Lloyd cosmic forecast, the moon is in, the moon is in Sagittarius, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, the moon is in Capricorn, all righty? On this, hold up. Yeah, the moon went into Capricorn this morning at 1:58. Then on Friday at 4 in the morning, or just before 5 in the morning, the moon will go in the fixed sign of Aquarius. So it's going to be a full moon. A full moon when the sun is in the opposition sign to the sun itself, the moon, I should say. So we're going to be in the sign of Leo, and it will be in the sign of Aquarius, which is full moon, which means 180 degrees away or 6 signs away. And thus, this is going to be a full moon weekend. Now, if you talk to people who work in emergencies or in the hospital field or police, they will tell you anytime there's a full moon, it's a crazy weekend. They're going to be busy because the full moon brings out people's emotions and feelings. And so everybody's going to be into their feelings, okay? And then especially in odd and unusual ways, since the moon will be in the sign of Aquarius. But I'll save all of this for more professional astrologers who are more adept. I mean, I do understand astrology and how it works, but I'd like to kind of leave that to the pros. Numbers is my thing, okay? But anyway, though, so that's it. And then on Monday, the 23rd, it will go into, the moon will be in the sign of Pisces. Then on the 25th, and I will start my guests. There will be 4 guests a month. They will always be on Wednesday. And my first guest is going to be Brother Francis Revels Bay, that I've known really way back in the day. Seriously. That's my buddy. We're both born on a 7. We're both born a month apart. And in fact, when we were introduced, it was in the year of the 7, on a day there was a 7, which shows you how that works, okay? And in fact, he's published books, he's done meditations, things like that. So I think you're going to find Francis Revels Bay. That is his name. A very, very interesting person to have on the show. Then the following Wednesday is going to be Kalia Washington, that I've known for decades too, who is a solar biologist. She's an excellent astrologer, but she calls herself a solar biologist. I wish I had that title. Like I wish I had the title of Simon's book, Numbers Are Simple, People Are Really, Really Complicated. But anyway, though, so I'll be having guests. As a fact, I'll be having a slew of them. They'll be ranging from New York, New Jersey, Detroit, Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, and some other places too. But anyway, I'm going to have a whole range of metaphysicians to help you understand the total of this world, what makes it what it is. And by the way, they always say like, subscribe, and share. If you do, that's fine. But one of the things that I want to talk about today's discussion, I will be taking people's calls. If you got questions, is are there cities and are there countries around the world that are favorable? And yes is the answer to the question. Let me show you what I mean. For those of you who travel, have you ever had the experience of traveling to a city and fell in love with it right away? Or on the reverse side, have you ever had us travel to a city and they gave you nothing but problems, and as soon as you got there, you wasn't feeling it? Well, each city, each country has a numerical influence. And this is why one will feel very comfortable in that city. And then another person will feel very uncomfortable in that city. In theory, one of the beauties of when you go to a city that's in lockstep with your energies, you will find that not only will your health improve, so will opportunities begin to improve as well, and vice versa. This is why you can have a person visiting New York City and unfortunately something happens to them where they wind up in a very serious injury or something like that. And then you can have another person go to another city. They didn't have a penny in their pocket, but it seemed like everything began to turn itself around. Well, what happens is, I'm going to give you just a brief example from my book that you can order online, Amazon, because in the chapter of 175 and 181, I have the best place to live and the best places to vacation. Now, I'm only giving random because there are countless cities. Like in Africa alone, there are 84 countries in Africa, okay? So don't say, well, you didn't say this country, didn't say that city. Listen, if I said all of that, we take about an hour and change just to do the show. All righty. And it's not that. It's just to give people a snippet to say, and maybe some of you have been to these places, been to these locations, but we'll see. All righty. So let me do this so I can get this started for you right here. And this is the rulerships. Okay. Now, let me tell you how it works, folks. So when I say the number one, right, each number rules a sign. So for the number one, if you are a Leo or born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th of the month, certain cities are very good for your chemistry. New York, Boston, Atlanta, Houston. If you visit a country, it could be anywhere from Nassau, Nairobi, Sydney, and St. Kitts in the Caribbean. All righty. Now, don't forget, there are tons and tons of cities just in this country alone, and tons of nations too, or countries around the world. But this is just to give you a snippet. So don't say, well, where's this city? Where's that? I'm just saying, I mean, to do it, I mean, I'd have to give the whole chapter of all the cities. And even then, I've only scratched the surface of so many cities that there are. Like in New York, there's so many cities in and of itself, or counties and stuff. Well, anyway, for those that are under the sign of Cancer, or if you're born on the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, or the 29th, because those dates add up to a 2, the following cities would be good for you, such as Boston, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Knoxville. The countries would be such as Addis Ababa, Florence, Panama, St. Thomas, okay? For people who are under the sign of Sagittarius or Pisces, or if you're born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th of the month, cities such as Corpus Christi in Texas, Memphis, Oklahoma, San Francisco, and countries such as Aruba, Antigua, Marseille, Martinique, these would be places where you would probably feel very, very comfortable. Now, then for those under the sign of Aquarius in the minor way Leo, the cities they would do well is in Atlantic City, Durham, Jacksonville, Mobile, Alabama. The countries would be Barbados, Buenos Aires, Khartoum, and Trinidad. Okay. And by the way, if I said Aquarius, and hopefully I mentioned the people born on the 4th, the 13th, 22nd, and 31st of the month. For Geminis and Virgos in the house, or if you're born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month, certain cities such as Chicago, Greensboro, South Bend, St. Paul's, and countries around the world would be Acapulco, Cairo, Milan, for example. For Tauruses or Librans, or if you're born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of the month, certain cities would do well for you, such as Dallas and Hartford and Kansas City and New Orleans. But countries such as Hawaii and Manila, Paradise Island, along with Paris, you would feel a comfortability in these cities and countries. For number 7s, that is for those under the Pisces and those under the sign of Cancer, The cities that would be very important for them would be Hollywood, Las Vegas, Long Beach, Minneapolis, and the country would be Costa Rica, Mecca, Mexico, and New Delhi. And in fact, when I went to New Delhi in India, I had a wonderful experience. It was really, really wonderful. I met great people. They call me the guru of the West because in India, like some other parts of the world, these are seats of the metaphysical, especially their numerology, astrology, and in India, especially their palmistry. Alrighty. So number 8, or those under the sign of Capricorn and the minor way Aquarius, the cities they would do well is in Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Sacramento, Jersey City, and they would do well going to the Cayman Islands, Gambia, Cuba, Lagos. Now, some of you who are chiming in today, maybe you've actually been to these cities to say, yeah, it was good, whatever the case is, we'll see. Then for those that are Aries and Scorpios, the cities that would be very good for them would be Detroit, Omaha, Philadelphia, Silver Springs. And in the meantime, if they go outside of the United States, they would find Antigua, St. Martin's, Puerto Rico, and Rome very, very favorable to them. Or they would feel very comfortable in this city, very productive in this city. So you can let me know. And in the meantime, I'm going to go to the calls, okay? Blessings of abundance to Queen Jackie Fillmore. I think I read Jackie Fillmore last time, too. And who do we have? Denise says, okay, let me put this up. See, so what it says here. This is Denise. She says, how about that? I'm a 9 and my dad is Antiguan and I love to go see my family. Too funny, see? So just on that. And don't forget, I just picked these randomly because I got a boatload of cities and countries in this book. You can pick it up at any good bookstore or order it on Amazon.com. And even then, the cities and the countries I have are nowhere complete. I don't even think I scratched the surface because there's so many places. But these are the more, shall we say, the popular cities, the cities that more people are kind of like, shall we say, used to or more frequently in the news. But there are countless cities, countless counties, countless nations, okay? So it all depends. So Denise, thanks for sharing that. Okay, let's see what else here. Okay, Virgil, she says she's never had any good luck on Staten Island. In fact, I have Staten Island listed. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's okay. I'll get it. Let's see here. Okay, yes, I've been using that book for years. Thank you so much, Denise. It's a good book, not because I wrote it, but it's a good book. Serious. Okay. So now this is Virgil Williams. She's living in Staten Island and she loves Miami. Now, Miami, I forgot where that is. But anyway, for Virgil, she is born on, let me put it up so you can see it. Okay. Virgil is born on the 3rd of March. Okay. So he's a water sign with a water number surrounded by the island of Staten Island, which is surrounded by water. And in fact, he loves Miami. Well, Miami's surrounded by water too. So it doesn't surprise me in that way, because one of the first things I did when I started introducing Live with Lloyd is introducing you to the elements. So Pisces is a water sign. 7 is a water number, which means emotions and feelings and hunches and intuitions. Therefore, it wouldn't surprise me. And in fact, not just Staten Island, Miami, but almost any body of water would feel good. And if you really want to feel good about yourself, take a trip to Hawaii. Hawaii. If you look and if you Google Earth Hawaii, Hawaii is a little dot surrounded by all that ocean. I think it's the Pacific Ocean. I mean, so if the Pacific Ocean even burps, okay, it's a wrap for Hawaii. So, I mean, I was in Hawaii. When I saw where it was located, I said, man, that's a whole lot of water. So anyway, this is it. And by the way, Virgil, your key numbers are the 7, the 2, and the 3. And you'll find that Mondays and Thursdays are your best days. So let's see what I think Tom has to say. He says he is currently in Harlem. Then he says New Bern, Edentown, which is better for me? Well, Tom gave his birthday last week, for which I don't remember. In fact, it was Monday. I know that Harlem is a number 2. Newbern, that's interesting because that's exactly the city where my mother and father was born at, right there in Newbern, North Carolina. It could be Newbern somewhere else. Then Ewing. So in order to do that, I would need to have a pen and paper. Some I know offhand, but what I would say is just grab a hold of my book. You can download it. It is an ebook. Somebody did ask before, did it come in the form of an ebook? As an audiobook, no, it's not in an audiobook yet, but hopefully you never know. That would be something. But anyway, he's currently in Harlem, New York City. So it all depends again on his birthday and how long he's been here. And let's see, this is Harold. Okay, let's say Harold. He says he's 12, 21. He's always enjoyed San Francisco and living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And by the way, for those that miss the cities and the countries that are good according to your number and your zodiac sign, I will put them up again. Now, here's the thing. Harold is a fire sign with a fire number, all righty? And so therefore, anywhere where there's action, there's entertainments, there's lights, there's camaraderie, there's people, there's traffic, a lot of entertainment and get up and go. Now, I've never been to San Francisco. I understand it's a beautiful city, but he's currently living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So for me to do that, I would need, well, time won't permit for that. But I will look these things up for you, and I might do it in between the fact when I'll be showing the cities and countries that are good for you again. So anyway, either get your pencil out, get your paper and whatnot. Now, don't forget, when I talk about these numbers, don't forget each number rules a sign. So let's say you have a person who's a Gemini 8. So for Gemini, that's 5 for the number 8. So they need to combine both the cities of a 5 and an 8. And so maybe by going to one of the cities, they'll say, yeah, that city was rocking. Yeah, that city was so-and-so. But also in my book, Numbers and You, I also give cities to be cautionary about. Cities to be a little careful, not paranoid. There's a big difference. But what I'm saying, when you go there, just have what is called situational awareness. Don't be walking down with your head down in your phone, walking in the poles that I've seen people practically do. The cell phones are great, but they can be very distracting. And so many people walk down the street looking at their phones, driving in a car, looking at their phones, and not being sometimes aware until you bump into something. And then you snap back to it, okay? But anyway, Harold, your numbers are the 3, 6, and 9. It tells me you're very ambitious. You don't look your age. And you should speak a second language, too. And perhaps since you live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, for all I know, you might speak Espanol, too, okay? That's interesting. Virgil asked the best times to fly. Do you know in my book, I have the best days to fly? She says, well, mine is in Jersey City, but she also asked another question that I didn't get here. Who was it? Yes. Yeah, Virgil Williams. This is it. And this is interesting, folks, because I'm an air sign, and, you know, that means supposed to be planes, but I'm a little nervous at times. But I will tell you this, and I will definitely do a segment on the best times to fly. One of the best times to fly, I can tell you this, is on a Thursday, okay? There has, ever since the introduction of commercial airlines. Commercial in this reference means when they started having passengers flying here and there and everywhere, right? There has never, I repeat, there has never, ever, ever, ever been a plane crash in the United States proper on a Thursday. Don't take my word for it. Do the research like I did. There has never, ever, ever, ever been a plane crash on a Thursday. So when I left to go to India, would you like to know what day I flew? You got it, Thursday. When I went to China, you want to know what day I flew? A Thursday. When Oprah was in Chicago before she moved her studio, and I was on 3 times, would you like to know what days I chose to fly? They were always on a Thursday. I got one of me, Okay. So certain days are better than others. Alrighty. So for me, since I like to come back in one piece and arrive in one piece, if possible, I will always make it a Thursday, but this is my preferable choice. But what I will do is I will feature, because I do have a question, numerology and flying. Okay. Some of the best days apply. Then there's some cautionary days. But airline safety has increased so much, it would have to take something almost extraordinary now for a plane to fall out the sky. Although I understand that the first 3 minutes of landing, taking off, and the last 8, I had a client that told me he worked on airplanes. He says the most critical times is takeoff and landings. Why that is, don't know. You'd have to talk to people in the business, but this is what he told me, and he's very authoritative on that since he works on planes all the time. But anyway, that is the safest day to fly for me. Okay, and so very good question, Virgil. So let's see what else we got. Okay, let's see. Okay, Tom said that's right. Tom is born October the 15th. So that means that when I go back to show the cities, those countries that lose, and see, here's a case where his number is also in its natural home. So the number 6's natural home is in the sign of Taurus. Why? Because Taurus is ruled by the number 6, or Libra, because Libra is also ruled by the number 6. So anybody born on the 6th, the 15th, the 24th, but particularly under those two constellations of Taurus and Libra, respectively, this will be best for you. All righty. I'll show it. Okay. Anyway, they're currently in. So let's see. They said they never had good luck in Staten Island. I don't know why that is. Probably it could be the number, according to either your zodiac sign or dates of birth. I do have in here Staten Island. I did see that. I don't know. I don't think I've mentioned Staten Island. But it all depends on your birthday. So whatever. See, don't forget, just as there are numbers that are very friendly, there are numbers that are what are called antagonistic or squared or opposition, which is an astrological term. And what that means is that therefore you will find that somebody says, okay, Thursday is my new flight day. Yeah, well, if you fly as much as I do or have, that is my number that I pick. Virgil is a number 7. So we'll go over all these again. And so this is nice. And anybody else that want to kick in, please let me know. Thanks for Denise. She says she's been using the book for years. Yeah, it's nice, Denise. I really enjoyed putting this book together. And I told him that the book would sell for a long, long time, because when you're dealing with universal principles, like mankind will never go out. And I got to say hi to Natasha, the number Swami. She's going to be one of my guests in the future, too. I'm going to have guests that'll probably run through the end of the year by the time I finish, okay? And Ash says, hello, Ash. I'll get all these things, too. Let's do Stephanie. This Stephanie is a first-time person. Now, Stephanie is a Taurus 2 person. She's born on the last day of Taurus. In fact, the following day was Biggie Small's birthday, who was considered Gemini. But again, it depends on the year he was born versus Stephanie, the where he was born versus Stephanie. And you know what's interesting? I might do a piece on Tupac and Biggie Smalls, too, because although they want to make it an East Coast, West Coast, both were born on the East Coast, okay? Both were Geminis. Both dated, I'll think of the sister's name. Anyway, I did all of this, and unfortunately, both of them met with an early demise through assassination. But it's very, very interesting. But in the case of Stephanie Butler, she is a earth sign with a water number. Now, earth and water goes well together. Anytime, if you know anything about nature and how it works, and you're planting seeds, well, what you do is you take those seeds and put them in rich soil. Well, that's Stephanie's sign of Taurus. and then naturally you water it. And those seeds can stay there for 100 years until you water it. So there's something magical about water, which is perhaps why the majority of the earth is covered by water. Okay. So it also indicates, since she's a 2, which is water, and 2s are very psychic, and she's born on the 20th day. Now, I'm going to have tarot readers such as Taiwo, such as Abner up the road too, because they will tell you that these cards, the major arcana, the minor arcana, has certain meanings. And so the 20th card in the tarot deck is called the Awakening. It's a picture symbol of a man, a woman, and a child with their hands clasped, and the rays are kind of sending down. It's almost as if they're about to send or looking up to the heavens. And it means people born on the 20th, like Stephanie, is always trying to raise people's consciousness. So probably when she was in school, she said, girl, you know, Johnny ain't no good for you. And you know what I'm saying? And trying to advise them and so and so and so and so. And they didn't pay her no mind. But later they had, after they ate crow, they said, girl, you know what? That guy was a jerk. Okay. So, and men too. So if you're born on the 20th, your thing is always about raising people's awareness, the things around them. And this is why people born on the 20th and the other 2, such as the 2nd, the 11th, the 29th of the month, are also advisors, because people always seem to come to you for advice. So since Taurus is an advice sign and 2 is an advice number, I would have said she would have did very well in the service industry, providing advice, whether social worker, counselor, therapist, life coach, whatever the case is. She would have done very well in that way. But by the way, your lucky numbers, by the way, Stephanie, are always the 2, 7, and 6, and Mondays and Fridays are your best days. Now, when I say these numbers, I read a person today, and she says, well, what do you mean these numbers? She was born September the 4th. Well, what about these numbers? I don't play numbers. They're not to be played. You can play them. Now, I will tell you this. When I mention people's numbers, they will often tell me that they went to play them. I did not go tell them to play the number. They went on their own, okay? So don't be looking at me. I did not tell them. But anyway, what happens is that some have often said that after I told them, their numbers came out. But what happens to me and other people who do this kind of work, astronumerologists and numerologists, once you establish the numbers, you lay the foundation. What do I mean? Well, once I get her numbers, I know what her days are out of the weeks. I know what her dates are out of the months. I know what her months are out of the year. And I know what years are best for her out of the decade, and the ages in which she is likely to do well. And so it helps guide the person. And so when the way I read a client, I will take them through this Q&A, and I'll make sure that they write down the information first, because it's not about taking my word for it. You write this stuff down, and then I began to ask questions, and then to see a transition take place where dates and days and months are underscored to show them that they are in alignment. Because my attitude is, if you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, why can't you be in the right place at the right time in perfect harmony with the universe? Why not? Okay? All of us have a number. There are no exceptions. Don't be saying, oh, my numbers are bad. No, it's about understanding your numbers, which is why I have an online course called Learn from Lloyd, How to Read a Person Like a Book, and Learn from Lloyd, The Next Step in Numerology. In fact, both those courses, today is the last day of the sale, where you can catch both of them for under $30. I kid you not. But you got to go to my website, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. That's LLOYD-Strayhorn, STRAYHORN.com. You go to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com, go down when you get to the landing page. Also, sign up for the free monthly newsletter that Kaya French and I do. She's out of Detroit, and for those in the national area, especially New York City, she's also the weekly columnist for the New York Amsterdam News. She's going to be one of the guests too that I'm going to have. No dates have been picked yet, other than the 2 dates that I'm going to have for the next 2 Wednesdays coming up. Anyway, so this is how this works. And also, I would say that Stephanie's also very intuitive too. In other words, she can tell whether you're lying or flying. But please take advantage. And hold up. Here's what Stephanie says. She says, thank you. I work in the social service agencies. Now, I don't think Stephanie and I know each other, but when you know these numbers If you take this course, and by the way, you'll get a certification so when you complete the course, all right? When you take these numbers and understand the principle of the numbers, it almost appears to the person that we're talking to that we're psychic. No, we've just been trained very much in understanding the meanings of the numbers. They don't change. It's like you talk to a professional astrologer. They know. And then naturally, anything you've been doing for a long time is like second nature. You know what I'm saying? Things kind of like, you can do it in the blind. You can do it blindfold, so to speak. Well, I've been doing this for more than a New York minute, for sure. But it's just interesting how once I know the nature of a number, it can guide the person. So it lets her know that, yes, she's always been of social, of service, things like that. That makes all the sense in the world to me, too. Also, what I didn't say is she would have made an excellent dancer. She probably loved to dance when she was a little girl. So if she was in modern dance, ballet dance, or anything like that, there is so much to each of you individuals out there. It's amazing. So again, so as I'm saying, instead of y'all looking in everybody else's backyard, I think you'll need to look in your own backyard to find out what the Creator has given you. So this is Michelle. Okay, now Michelle's name indicates that one of her parents could either been a Cancer or Taurus, or born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of any month. But she is an earth sign with a fire number. So unlike the last Taurus, Stephanie, who's an earth sign with a water number, she brings practicality, common sense, a down-to-earth approach, but back with passion and fire. And okay, brother, I hear what you're saying, but what are you going to do? Okay. So if you're the kind of person that's going to talk a lot of smack, Michelle is not for you. Okay. Save yourself some wear and tear. Save yourself some embarrassment. You got to go run that on somebody else because her birthday suggests. And then if you look at the compound number 30, they succeed as a result of their mental intellect. That means she has mental superiority. So if you talk to Michelle, she would probably tell you when she was a youngster or a teenager, almost all the girls says, okay, let's go with Michelle. That's a good idea, Michelle. So and so and so. She's a big thinker and she's very ambitious. And at her job, sometimes people might think she's dictatorial, but to her nature is this: you do your job straight, I do my job. But if I got to do your job and my job, we're going to have some problems up in this piece. So wherever Michelle has worked at, everybody probably know they worked around Michelle, handle your business, carry your weight, and y'all save that for somebody else because she don't play that. By the way, her birthday suggests too, she's a natural flirt and she doesn't look her age. And the irony of her birthday is this: when she was young, she attracted much older men. As she got older, they became younger. And the attitude still, ladies, is better to have love than no love at all. Okay. So anyway, and her best days, and let me answer that question, by the way, her best days are always on a Thursday first, my favorite day to fly, thank you, and Friday and Tuesday. The way the calendar would work, it would say Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Her calendar, her cosmic calendar is always Thursdays first, Fridays second, Tuesdays third. Now, for people that says, well, what does that mean? Let's say she's going on an interview. She should always try to arrange it on a Thursday first. Why? That's her main day out of all 7. If she can't do that, then pick Friday as the next best day. If she can't get Friday, then get Tuesday. Let's say she has to go into the hospital for a procedure. She should arrange it to make it on a Thursday. That's her best day. If not, make it on a Friday. If not, a Tuesday. Let's say she's got to go before the judge to plead her case, okay? And it's looking real serious up in there, okay? She should always try to arrange it on a Thursday with her lawyer, or a Friday, or a Tuesday. What I've also noticed that women seem to instinctively know what their days are. We guys, we say it's either Saturday or Sunday. Those are sports days. So that's like, really, guys, okay? We can be more original. But women seem to know. They seem to, their biological clock seems to be more in alignment with the universe, okay? Their feelings and hunches seem to be more in the universe. We guys, I guess we call ourselves hunter-gatherers, whatever we call ourselves doing. But nonetheless, those are your best days, my dear, in that order. Thursdays first, Fridays second, then Tuesday. All righty? And that's how you do it. Thank you so much. Let's see who else we can get. This is, I think, Bianca. Yeah, Bianca. Okay. Now, Bianca is an Aquarius, okay? She is a air sign with an earth number. So that means she's very logical, very reasoning, but yet very practical, very down to earth. Like to keep it common sense. That's the nature. That's why when I did the elements, I explained that if you even don't know what Aquarius means or what the number 8 means, just by knowing the nature of air, reasoning, logic, logistics, always inquisitive, questioning, which is the nature of an air sign. Then if you know this earth number, which means, okay, conservative, okay, then you know how you got those action figures, action characters in the movie that run down the hall and just jump out the window. She not doing that, okay? Now, she might run down the hall, but you best believe she's going to look before she leaps, okay? That's her energy. And her birthday suggests that she's gotten older, her life has gotten better. And I would say somewhere between her 31st and 35th birthday, that's when she should have seen the light of day. Her lucky numbers are the 8, 4, and 1. 8s and 4s are numbers of fate or destiny. So that means, let's say, for example, she's married. Well, more than likely, the person she married may not have been the one she had planned to marry, but as fate or destiny happens, she winds up marrying that particular person. Okay? So it's not that she doesn't have any control over her life. It also seems at times the time that fate or destiny will step in and take a hand in and of itself too. So Bianca, that's it. And let me see from her name. That's okay. That's 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It tells me one of her parents, in fact, her name Bianca adds the 13, which would attract Leos, Geminis, Virgos, Aquarians, and people born on the 1st, the 4th, the 10th, the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, and 31st of the month. I'm telling you, you should register for this course. You should find out what makes you special, what makes you divinely special, okay? And I'm not saying it to get your money, because, when you get this less than the price of lunch, it ain't about making the money as so much as passing on the understanding so you learn how to be happy with yourself. You can't be nobody else, okay? For example, one day when I was a kid, I wanted to be real tall. I'm short, okay? But if you understand my ascendant is Virgo, which is a short sign, that would make sense. And so one day I says, listen, Lloyd, you're not going to grow any taller. Get over it. You got to make use of what you got. And so what I'm saying is, again, we're so busy looking in other people's backyard that we don't look at the acres of diamonds under our own feet, what makes us potentially great in our own way. Because all these famous people started out like who at that time. You might be a who now and blazing later, but it's about self-discovery. And one of the things to do it is by numerology, astrology, palmistry, trying to metaphysically understand what makes you who you are, because you can be nobody else. I don't care how much you want to imitate somebody, how much you would like to be like somebody. It is no substitute for being yourself, because you really have no choice. But anyway, enough of that. But once you do that, I'm just saying, take the course. Today's the last day of the sale. Now, you can wait if you want to, okay? But it can't be said we did not have this conversation. This person is Pamela, okay? Now, Pamela says that she's born on June the 18th, all right? One thing, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of travel, and she's born on the 9, which travels. I would say Pamela has traveled short trips and long trips, and she would like to travel Labor Day. Well, here's the thing. Once you know her numbers, then you can establish her days, then you can establish her dates, then you can establish her month. So I'll start at the basics. According to her birthday, she's an air sign with a fire number, which is very motivating. So she's a self-motivating sister. So if you think, her pity parties last long, bam, not true. Her pity parties are very short, if anything. All right. And so because she's got that air and fire, that makes for combustion. That means she's like to always be on the go. And in fact, if a guy came to me as how to approach her, I'd say the secret to holding on to her is let her go. Or here's what you do. Let's say you're dating her. Say, Pamela, listen, we're going to stay home this weekend. And then the following weekend, we're going to stay home this weekend. And they always want to spend weekends at home. Well, guess what? One weekend, that guy's going to be by himself because she's going to be going somewhere, whether it's a short trip or long trip. So Gemini rules short trips. but 9 rules long trips. So I would say she's probably traveled globally around the country, and she's probably traveled outside the country, whether it's to Egypt, Africa, whatever the case is, London, you name it, South America, Cuba, because she's really an international person. And the point that I'm making is this. One of her best months, and she's blessed with 6 months. Most people got 2, 3. She's got 6. Hers is always in April, May, and June, then September, October, November. Well, Labor Day is the first weekend in September. So therefore, it would be perfect. Not only that, though, the year is challenging to her because I'm seeing she's in a 2 personal year. How did I do that? Simple. If you take my course, you'll learn how simple it is, too. I took her month and date of birth, June the 18th, added to the year in question. Well, the year 2021 is a 5, which is ruled by Mercury, which favors Gemini, her sign, and Virgo as well. But because she's in a 2 personal year, when I took the month and day she's born and added it to the present year, 2 is one of those resistance numbers to the number 9. And the fact, when you think about it, 9 is fire, 2 is water. So that means she may have to be careful of her stomach and digestive tract, little things of that nature. And so she will be in a 2 personal month for September. So there is a week that if she's going to travel, more than likely the best week to travel, well, to me, the best week to travel would be the 3rd week, which would be from the 15th to the 21st. But if she loves to travel around Labor Day, look at my book, see what cities match your sign. She might live in New York. Detroit is one place to go because that's ruled by the number 9. Cleveland, I think, is also ruled by the number 9. Something off the top. But in fact, I'm going to put that up on the board in a second and let y'all see it again. But anyway, she's feisty. She takes no prisoners, and she speaks her truth. That's why she'll have open enemies at time. But other than that, Pamela is great. And what you see is what you get. It's just that simple. All right. So let me put up one more time for review all of the cities. Not all of the cities. That's not even a fair judgment. All of the cities. Okay. These are just some of the cities that you will see that matches. So I'm going to start at the top again for those that may have missed it. Okay, let me see with Pam. I got to do something right quick. Okay, Pam. Okay. Okay. There we go. Did I do it right? I guess I did. You'll see. Okay. Here we go. So if you're an Aries, okay, or a Scorpio. No, excuse me. Let me start with the number 1. If you're a Leo or born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th, just a random sampling of cities would be New York, Boston, Atlanta, and Houston. Also, countries such as Nassau, Nairobi, Sydney, and St. Kitts. If you're a Cancer or born on the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, or the 29th of the month, since cities such as Baltimore and Boston and Cincinnati and Knoxville would be favorable. Countries outside of the United States, such as Addis Ababa, Florence, Panama, St. Thomas, would also fit you fine. If you are Pisces or Sagittarius or born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th of the month, certain cities such as Corpus Christi, Memphis, Oklahoma, San Francisco. By the way, you can take screenshots of this too. So you can keep it. Cities such as Aruba, Antigua, Marseille in France, Martinique in the Caribbean would be good for you. If you're an Aquarius or born on the 4th, 13th, 22nd, or 31st, Atlantic City. I've been to Atlantic City, had fun. I'm an Aquarius. Durham, Jacksonville, Mobile, and certain cities such as Trinidad. I've been to Trinidad, love Trinidad. In fact, even started a TV and radio station in Trinidad too. Barbados, Buenos Aires, Khartoum. If you are a Gemini or Virgo or born on the 5th, 14th, or 23rd of the month, Chicago and Greensboro and South Bend and St. Paul's would be good for you. Also Acapulco, Cairo, and Milan in Italy. If you are a Taurus, and this answers Tom's question, okay, Tom? Because Tom is born October the 15th. So not only is he a Libra, as well as Taurus, for the one that was born May 20th and the one that was born April 30th, okay? And if born on the 6th and the 15th or the 24th, Dallas, Hartford, Kansas City, New Orleans would be good. And cities outside of the United States would be Hawaii, Manila, Paradise Island, and Paris. For sevens, such as Cancer and Pisces, or they were born on the 7th or 16th or the 25th of the month, Hollywood, Las Vegas, Long Beach, Minneapolis, and countries outside of the United States would be Costa Rica, Mecca, Mexico, and New Delhi. Then if you are a Capricorn, and in a minor way Aquarius, because Capricorn was originally ruled, Saturn once ruled the sign of Aquarius, whose number is ruled by the number 8. But the cities would be Cleveland and Pittsburgh, Sacramento, Jersey City, and the countries outside of that would be Cayman Island, Gambia, Cuba, and Lagos. Finally, if you're an Aries or Scorpio, or born on the 9th, the 18th, or 27th, Detroit, the Motor City. Notice engines, cars are made there. So, and that's what 9 rules. In fact, I understand there is Hell Night. I don't know what they call it, Hell Night, but just on the day before Halloween or after Halloween, there's a lot of fires that's created in Detroit. And it's a number 9 that rules the element of fire. Omaha, Philadelphia, Silver Springs, and outside of that, you got the countries such as Antigua, and then St. Martin's, and some others. But anyway, this is the whole point. So this is the gist. But don't forget, this is just a small list. And Pamela just says, yes, she loves to travel. All right. I'll put it up here. She says, yes, she loves to travel, and she's traveled internationally. So that's what I'm saying. 9, Gemini rules small, long, short travels. 9 rules international travel, global, universal, international. That's the nature of a 9. Okay, so let me do this. And okay. Okay. Oh, and I've got somebody that says Eva Jenkins is a great tarot reader. Well, Tom, share her birthday with me so I can give her a play. Okay. I'm inviting everybody who's got skills. It is not so much how much you know. I'm not going to take people through no Q&A. Let me get this off. Get this out the way. I'm not going to take people through a Q&A, your credentials, how long you've been doing this and that. That doesn't matter to me. We all got to start off somewhere. Even the most expert person had to start from scratch. That's why they say you got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. All I want people to do is come and share with those what their passions are. This is why there's so many books on the subject of astrology, so many books on the subject of palmistry, numerology, color, the tarot. I got tons of books in my library on many of the different metaphysical areas. But to have these people on crystals, I got colors, I got the Bible, because that's why I'm going to have Brandon Smith. He's one of the baddest brothers that know how to break down the Bible and relate. The brother is a scholar, but then again, his father, his grandfather, his father before that have all come out of the church. But he just seemed to have a way of putting it in a way that the most skeptical of persons will become a believer. So I'm going to have him on too. And he wrote an excellent book called Namaste to Numbers that you can get also on Amazon.com. Of course, I'm going to have my buddy King Simon and whatnot. But at any rate, let me just take maybe 1 or 2 more before I get off. Okay, let's see. Okay, Rosemarie. Now, here's the interesting thing. Rosemarie is born the same day as Maya Angelou, Jill Scott, and a couple other people. She is a fire sign with an air number. That means she is self-motivating, but everything about her suggests she likes to think outside the box. Actually, she's a 444 across the board because she's born in the 4th month. She's born on the 4th day. She's born in 1957. That adds up to the master number 22, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So that means her destiny number is a 3. That means she's here to learn how to expand. With a 3 destiny, she might do well in the pharmaceutical industry or in areas connected with entertainment, government, or the arts. Okay. It also indicates a person who would be very conscientious with a 3 destiny. But it also tells me about Rosemarie Jenkins, that she's had to earn it. Can nobody step to her and says, I remember when I carried you. Yeah, right. No, she don't work like that. If you look at her history, she'll probably tell you she grew up as a child where she had to make the most of what she had. She had to appreciate everything that came her way. And so at this point, when she reached that adulthood, she knew what not having was about and could appreciate it. She likes to be different. This is why she creates secret enemies. She likes to be her own best company. By the way, before I get into all that, her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 9. Now, Strayhorn, what does that mean? That means that her best days to carry out her plans are always on a Sunday first, then a Tuesday, then a Wednesday. Those are always her best days. If she carries out her plans on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, everything is likely to go. Every one of us are assigned a day. So don't be focusing on Rosemarie's days. You need to know what your days are to take advantage of your situation. That's the point of having this kind of information, where you know how to be in the right place at the right time, okay? So anyway, I think that's it. I will take one more and then I'm going to close out. Time goes by so fast, and I'm having a lot of fun. And I told the person, let me see, this is, okay, let me see who this is. This person has a birthday coming up not too soon, next week on the 27th. Now, this person is a Virgo 9 person. They're under the constellation of Virgo, Mudu, and they're born on a 9. Now, in the tarot cards, the 27 is called the Royal Scepter, one who succeeds as a result of their productive intellect, which means Virgo is a smart sign, anyway, astrologically. And the 27, that compound number tells me this is a woman. Don't be playing no mind games. You can play some mind games if you want to, but if you wind up getting embarrassed and your feelings hurt, she's not the one. And she'll probably tell you that too. And it's not that she's a bad person, but you got to come straight, no chaser with this sister. Imagine how you can approach a woman that you're interested in, a man that you're interested in, an interview that you have to go on, or whatever the case is. And even though most in interviews, you don't say, well, what's your birthday before I come up in there? Just by the section of what is your name, okay? Understanding the letters of the name, the value of those letters and what they mean, it will show you how to slant your approach in your interviews. And as I tell people, if you don't think you're going to get the interview, don't go up in there, because your mouth will say one thing, but they will tell you 80% of communication is body language. It's just that simple. So you can talk that talk, but your foot is pointing toward the door, which means I'm ready to get up out of here. So those in the know, especially interviewers, yeah, they hear what you're saying, but they're also seeing what your body is conveying too. And there are people who are very artful in this. So if you're going to go and claim your interview. That's what you do. But don't go there and say, oh, I don't know I'm going to get it, because your body will tell you. Your mouth will be saying one thing, but your body will be saying a whole nother thing too. So anyway, I want to thank everybody because time is almost here. But this has been a lot of fun. By the way, her numbers are the 9, 6, and 5. No, the 9, 5, and 6, excuse me. And our best days are always on a Tuesday, a Friday, and a Wednesday. And that's it. Those are her best days. So everybody, I want to thank you very much. I want to let you know that please tonight is the last night that my class is on sale. You can get both the beginner's course, Learn from Lloyd, How to Read a Person Like a Book, and the intermediate and advanced course called Learn from Lloyd, The Next Step in Numerology. You can get both those courses tonight before 12 midnight, not unless you live on the West Coast, so you got 3 hours extra to get your dibs in. But I would say you should take advantage before 12 midnight and own them. Own them. Even you never know. Why spend hundreds of dollars when you can get it for less than a lunch for two? And the sale ends tonight. But to do it, you must go to my website to take advantage of the discount. It is Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. So that's LLOYD-Strayhorn, STRAYHORN.com. When you go there, sign up for the free monthly newsletter that Kai French and I do every month. Get the August issue. I plan to have the September issue out on time this time. I dropped the ball last time, so I'm not going to front. All right. So, but anyway, And that should be it. But right now, get the August edition for what remains of the rest of this month. And if you want to get it through Kaya's website is KayafRench, KayafRench.com. You can get it from there. And also her column comes out in the New York Amsterdam News tomorrow, each and every Thursday, which is one of the luckiest days to fly. So anyway, again, I want to thank you. And by the way, I can be seen on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Like, share, subscribe. I got to look at this. Like, share, subscribe. But when I say if you like it, if you honestly like it, do it. If you feel that other people need to have this knowledge, do share it with them. Okay? I'm not looking for those kind of numbers. The numbers that I love are the numbers that we're talking about each and every week on this show. So next Monday, I'll see you then on the 23rd. And then my first guest will be on the 25th. And every Wednesday, 4 times a month, I will have 4 different guests. And by the way, speaking of my website, my online course, Numbers in You, How to Read a Person Like a Book, and the Next Step in Numerology, I must thank Jackie Levine. Now, this sister is bad with the computers. And by the way, she is also a numerologist in her own right and also published a book. She will also be one of my guests. I don't even think she knows that yet, but you know how the word gets out. You know, girl, I heard so-and-so. You know how people do. Anyway, so get the book from ordered on Amazon. Okay, that's this. For those that's going to sign up for the workbook, for the class tonight, get this book. This is a perfect companion book. This is the workbook, a basic guide to numerology. So sign up for the book, get it, take advantage of the course, save yourself a ton of money. You ladies, y'all can get your hair, nails done, and some money to even treat yourself to a dinner too. Okay. Now, if you wait till tomorrow, you're going to have to pay the full cost. And all women like sales as far as I know. All righty. And then for those in relationships, and one day we're going to get into relationships too. I'll show you how to find what you call your soulmate. It is not as, it took me a long time, but it's really kind of like anything. Once you master it, it's always simple. And then finally, this book here, Lloyd's Book of Numbers and Numerology Guide for the 21st Century and Beyond. All these books are available on, all these books are available on Amazon. Okay, all you gotta do is go to Amazon, get all the books. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna want you to support all the other guests. My guest, Francis Revels Bay, he's written a book. He's got another book coming out. Most of the people have books, and I want you to support them. Not only just support them by buying their books, but also use their services so you can become better at understanding yourself more. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody very, very much. I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody, but I'm making due note. And if I don't get to you, I will. That's including George and Atiba. Got all these interesting names. So anyway, this has been Learn from Lloyd. No, Live with Lloyd, where the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. And I really, really mean it. So until Monday, you guys have a great weekend. And don't forget, this weekend is a full moon. So that means people's emotions are going to be high. So if you run into a lot of people and they're all into their feelings, that may explain it. And if you talk to nurses and people in emergencies and people in police, they will tell you, wow, it's a busy weekend because it's a full moon. Everybody have a blessed, blessed day. You take good care until then. Bye.